All right, so we're gonna be back onto YouTube. By the way, my name is Versatile, aka Ikoyi. Trust the name you can trust when it comes to all things reactions. So there's only a few things for me to react to left today. Well, no, let me not do that. Let's just do this. Wow, he's got one of those already. Mostly Welsh. Shout out to Aaron Pierre. Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa. Hey, Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa. Listen, whenever I see his name, that's the first thing that comes to mind now. That's incredible. Anthony Joshua, another day, another channel, I'll react to that. Anthony Joshua wants to fight Tyson Fury. When you're both not. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm literally over it. Actually, I'm looking at the time. I'm going to react to this instead. Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa. Hey, Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa. Hey, Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa. Okay, so by the way, my name is Versatile, aka Alkebulan. Trust the name you can trust when it comes to all things reactions. And right now, we are going to react to how Tony Elumelu became filthy rich. This is the 2025 documentary. So let's just get straight into this. So if you're a fan of these type of content, you might as well hit the subscribe button because I'm going to do more of these. I'm going to do more of these. Get me? And I'm learning so much anyway, and you shall learn so much and apply what you learn. Excuse me.
Go to motionarray.com and enter a world with over 2 million creative assets to bring your vision to life. When you jump in, you'll find video.
There are iconic Nigerian billionaires, and there is Tony Elumelu. Known as the Nigerian cowboy of banking, Tony Elumelu is only one of the very few Nigerian billionaires who built their empire from scratch. And the story of how he did was so
From scratch. Oh, I've got to hear this. I've got to watch this. You've got to watch this. I'm inspired already.
That the Harvard Business School had to publish a special case study on his legacy. Stay with us as we walk you through the story of how an ordinary salesman went from taking over a dying bank and Nigeria's biggest hotel to building one of the largest business empires in Africa.
The swag.
Born on 22nd March 1963, Tony Elumelu started out in Jos, located in the northern part of Nigeria, the same region where successful billionaires like Aliko Dangote and Rabiu Abdul-Samad began their childhood. The family of 5 children were neither rich nor poor, but
you ever wondered why certain groups of certain individuals have a certain similarities in terms of certain things, and you ever wondered how comes they have all of that in common, where they all, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know how to say it. It's just very intriguing. It's like, for example, with music. If you look at the music industry in the UK, but just UK, just London, you will realize that South London, especially certain regions within South London, they always produce like for one time it was only like Craden that's producing these type of artists or whatever, and even before that it was Brixton producing these type of artists. When one time it's Peckham, and even Peckham have these actors. It's like, huh? You know what I mean? Like, it's incredible. Let's go. And even I was talking about Aaron, I was like, Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa. Hey, Aaron Pierre from Croydon. You know what I'm saying? That brother's from Croydon, bruv. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, anyways, keep moving.
but narrowly gave Tony the opportunity to not only be educated, but to complete his education up to the university level courtesy of his parents. Tony attended his primary education at the prestigious St. Patrick's Primary School in Jos, but had to travel down to the south-south region of the country for his secondary education, which he completed at the Federal Government College of Warri in Delta State, his original home state. This strategic choice of location helped young Tony experience life in southern Nigeria, which not only balanced his worldview but made him hungry for more explorations. Following the completion of his secondary education, Tony decided to further his studies in the Middle Belt region, where he gained admission to study economics at Ambrose Ali University, formerly known as Bender State University in Edo State. He graduated with a lower second class, which he later used to pursue a master's degree in the same economics at the University of Lagos. Just like every other fresh...
Okay, so the pattern is education. It's what he studied. Now, is it too late for you to study? No. You know what I mean? Let's go.
Fresh Nigerian graduate, Tony quickly applied for the National Youth Service Program and was opportune to work at Union Bank, a popular commercial bank in the country. It was there that Tony got his first experience in the banking industry and developed a special interest in the business of finance and accounting. But unfortunately for the young man, everything quickly ended as it had begun, with Tony having to leave the company at the end of his one-year service program without any offer from the bank to retain his position. This may have broken young Tony and crashed his dreams in the banking sector, but the dreamer boy had to move on. Unable to secure another role in any of the commercial banking giants, Tony ventured into the marketing industry as a copier salesman. Working as a sales representative, he brokered deals for office equipment, promoting and selling printers and photocopiers to offices. According to Tony Elumelu, he was no different from the thousands of young Nigerian graduates at that time, characterized by their hunger, youth, and eagerness to succeed at all cost. However, the days of
eagerness to succeed. See, if I'm pausing it because I'm trying to look at key things to why he became a success and why he maintains a success, and what you could do to be a success and maintain being a success, and what I can do to be a success and maintain a success. So aside from the education, there's also just that resilient and that hunger and desire to succeed. That's key. I don't say doing whatever it takes, but you shouldn't do necessarily whatever it takes, because, you know what I mean? Do everything and anything necessary that it takes within reason, within the parameters of what is morally and ethically right and aligned with God. Do you understand? Like, it's important I say that. Do you know what I mean?
Days of Tony's street hustle soon came to an end when a commercial bank, the All States Trust Bank, opened a job application portal that focused on hiring young university graduates. Around this time, Tony had already obtained his master's degree and felt very qualified for this new opportunity, except that there was a problem. It was stated in the details of the vacancy offer that in order to be eligible as an applicant, the individual must meet a special academic requirement of having graduated with a minimum of an upper second class in their bachelor's degree. This was an immediate disqualification for Tony, who did not make up to the stated academic requirement, despite qualifying.
Do you know how harsh that's harsh. Sometimes I look at these applications like, anyway, I won't even get into it, but yeah.
In other aspects of the role, according to Tony, he realized that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for him to finally get into the profession he had always admired and was better aligned with. So, he picked up his pen and began to form. refusing to be hindered by the limitation of the job requirement. However, in the course of writing his cover letter, Tony did something special. He admitted being aware of his non-qualification for the role, but added a few words in assurance that read, "Even though I do not meet the requirements, if you give me the chance, I will prove myself." Tony believed that there was no harm in trying and submitted his application to the bank. To his surprise, the bank sent a reply inviting him for their screening process among the hundreds of other graduates who were also selected. Thanks to an incredible streak of luck, the end of the process saw Tony landing his first real banking role at the All States Trust Bank.
That was him following his instincts. Do you know why I know? Because unless someone else told him, just do that. You know what I mean? Just put that, you know, if given the opportunity, you know what I mean? I'll prove myself. I don't know. Sometimes, never just sometimes, you know, when you follow your instincts, more times things actually work out when you think about it. It's a high risk to follow just your instincts, but the fact that he has the education to match, and he had to follow his instincts somehow to get the employment, it worked. You know what I mean? It worked. And let's go.
Where he fully kicked off his banking career. The exuberant young man understood the weight of the golden opportunity he had secured and took it upon himself to spend every day proving his worth. Most importantly, he didn't want to let the bank chairman and CEO down, who had personally reviewed his cover letter and decided to give him a chance. With several motivations pushing him to outdo himself, Tony soon earned a reputation in the bank, and just within 12 months of joining the firm, he went from being a data analyst to a branch manager. A quick career growth like that had never been seen before in the Nigerian banking industry, as Tony Elumelu was just 27 years old when he was appointed to this critical role. Later on, Tony would extend his gratitude to his bosses at that time, who didn't fail to notice his hard work and commitment while also trusting him to the level of assigning a branch to him. But that was only the beginning of the records Tony would be setting in the Nigerian banking industry. His new position opened him to several leadership opportunities, so that in 1997, the bold young man left the All States Trust Bank, leading a team of young determined visionaries to take over the struggling Crystal Bank, known today as Standard Trust Bank, although now defunct. The stakeholders of the troubled bank believed that they were disembarking from a sinking ship, and they let Tony acquire the financial institution in a distressed sale, placing the entrepreneur at the position of CEO at just 34, the youngest of any Nigerian bank at that time. However, Tony saw something else in the bank and was determined to not only make his money back, but also build a business empire from there. With the future of the bank now lying in his hands, Tony and his team renamed the company Standard Trust Bank and began engineering a 3-tiered strategic plan to re-establish the firm. The plan entailed 1. Revitalize the struggling bank and restore profitability. 2. Elevate the bank into one of Nigeria's top 10 financial institutions within 7 years. 3. Further grow STB to become one of the top 3 banks in Nigeria by the 10th year. The comeback strategy may have...
Yo, the fact that he had a plan, and this is the key, have a plan. Like, all right, cool. Make sure you stay subscribed and you're notified, so when I go live and I react to this type of content, you just know. Because like I said, I will do more reaction videos to this type of content, because it's so inspiring to see the journey of how successful people go through. Do you know what I mean? Like think about it. You're telling me at 27 he more or less got the job, or I say got the job, but then within that year, the man was getting promoted like quickly, and then by the age of 34, he was the CEO of another bank. Do you know what I mean? That's cold.
Have seemed a bit too optimistic, but Tony and his team quickly went to work, investing their various experiences and skills into making STB work again. The world came to realize that Tony and his team were not bluffing after all, as the next 7 months saw the STB team move the bank from a mere 6.49 million naira to over 473 million naira in revenue. This was a testament to Tony Elumelu's leadership prowess, earning him a spotlight in the banking industry at a time when the sector contained over 120 commercial banking brands, and also a period when the sector was experiencing a boom following several deregulation trends. Now, many may ask, where is Standard Trust Bank today? Following Tony's acquisition of the bank in 1997, by 2000, the bank was already on its feet, and by 2004, STB had become one of the top 10 banks in Nigeria, achieving its second-tier objective ahead of time. In 2005, the final objective came earlier than expected and was realized through a merger with the United Bank of Africa, in what was considered the biggest merger in sub-Saharan Africa at the time. Tony led this new company under the name UBA, which was now nothing below the top 3 financial firms in the country. Before this merger occurred, Tony Elumelu had recharged his business skills, enrolling in the Harvard Business School for the Advanced Management Program to prepare himself for what.
Okay, so that's adds to more reason why he is studied. You know what I mean? Why not study one of your own that became a success? You know what I mean?
Forthcoming, having completed his objectives for his former enterprise, which resultantly led him to head in a new, bigger entity. Tony knew that this was not the climax for him, and it wouldn't be settling just there. The UBA boss decided to initiate another 3-tier strategic intent for the bank, which focused on expanding into the continental and global space after having conquered the Nigerian market. Talking about how he was able to pull off these plans like no other financial firm in Nigeria, Tony remarked he and his team were always stretching themselves, making sure that they were making big and audacious moves that would give them an advantage in the competitive sector. The billionaire admitted that fulfilling one objective would give them the energy and impetus to go for the second, and accomplishing the second would further provide the power and inspiration for the third. Through this means, all 3 phases would be completed, sometimes before schedule, allowing them the freedom to explore new targets. Today, the United Bank of Africa has not only established its brand across 20 African countries, but has also planted its branches across the global scene, from London to Paris and New York, being the only African bank that operates in the United States. In 2010, the banking mogul was forced to come down as the CEO of the publicly traded bank after a new policy from the Central Bank of Nigeria limited the executive term of bank CEOs to a maximum of 10 years. Tony claimed that the policy change inspired.
You know what? I have this theory about the central banks of many countries. I have this, it's just a theory, but for them to change the policy to make him step down, I promise you that was not without manipulative reasons, or that is a way of manipulation, because it almost feels of like, okay, we can see how powerful you're becoming, let's not make you too powerful now. Just saying.
Inspired him to think more widely and take advantage of other opportunities instead of letting it affect him negatively. However, he still actively heads the institution's board of directors as the largest shareholder with a whopping 7% ownership of the bank. Following his retirement from his executive role, Tony founded a family-owned investment firm known as Heirs Holdings and began investing in several sectors. One of his most significant moves was a full-force venture into the hospitality industry after years of silent investment in the sector. The elephant in the room was the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, which he took over in a controversial manner from the then chairman, Femi Otedola. According to Otedola, Tony Elumelu had sought financial support from him during the acquisitions of UBA, which Otedola had rendered through the purchase of shares worth about $20 million. Although the share price appreciated much later, Tony Elumelu persuaded his colleague to retain his shares, citing promising future prospects. By 2007, Femi Otedola had become the chairman of Transcorp Hotel, holding a 5% stake in the firm. Unbeknownst to him, Elumelu was quietly increasing his shareholdings in the same company, so that when some financial difficulties plagued Otedola in 2008, Tony quickly acquired his colleague's UBA shares, including the shares he also owned at the African Finance Corporation as the largest shareholder. Around this time, Otedola was approached by a colleague who indicated that an American firm was interested in buying his shares in Transcorp, which he agreed to sell, only to discover that the supposed American firm was in fact Tony Elumelu.
I can't even lie, that was snaky. That was snaky. If that's true, in the way it was conducted, that's a snake move, bruv. But listen, do you know what? Didn't Femi Otedola do something similar with Illegal Dangote? I'm just saying, you know what I mean? So call it karma, innit?
This revelation led to Otedola's resignation as the chairman of the hotel, and a full-blown takeover of the hotel by Tony Elumelu occurred, as he now currently chairs the Transcorp Group. Away from business and into non-profits, Tony registered the Tony Elumelu Foundation in 2010, a foundation aiming to promote entrepreneurship in Africa.
My wife and I created the Tony Elumelu Foundation in 2010
by offering opportunities and financial assistance to young African entrepreneurs. His philanthropy is firmly grounded in his Afro-capitalism philosophy, which was introduced by him and hinges the African private sector as the key to long-term economic prosperity and social wealth in the continent. Through this foundation, over 20,000 young African entrepreneurs have accessed a funding pool totaling $100 million, and more than 1.5 million young Africans have been reached through its digital medium. While still establishing and managing several businesses at the age of 61, Tony Elumelu has accrued a net worth of over $700 million and is certainly not a newcomer to a luxurious lifestyle. He owns several high-end cars, an exotic mansion at Ikoyi, Lagos, an art collection possibly worth millions of dollars, and one of the most expensive private jets in the country, the Dassault Falcon 7X, purchased for close to $60 million. And while other lovers of the Afrobeat music may buy tickets to see their favorite artist, Tony is known for paying his favorite artist to come see him and perform at his family parties. According to those around him, he is such a great lover of parties and music that Spotify had to make his own playlist. But the one thing he has repeatedly admitted to loving above everything else is his family. Tony is a father to 5 children, including triplet girls, all given to him by Vivian Awele, his wife and partner, whom he married in 1993. Today, the business mogul is bringing most of his investments home through Heirs Holdings, hoping to establish a family legacy that will transcend him. Talking about how he was able to achieve a lot at such a young age, having started with nothing, Tony exclusively blamed his success on 2 things: hard work and luck. According to him, he has personally experienced how these 2 things can change a man's life. What if the chairman of Crystal Bank had not paid attention to him? He would recount, proving that sometimes a little bit of luck here and there is all it takes for a person's hard work to pay off. And Tony Elumelu is a testament.
I'm not having that. I'm sorry, luck. I ain't having that.
What if you can create your own website by saying,
I'm not having that. No. There's a saying. Give me a second real quick. Let me find that saying. All right. I want to put that quote there. But yeah, man, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I should really subscribe to that channel. You should subscribe to mine as well, because yeah, more content is coming in regards to this, because this was extremely inspirational. Do you understand? Like, extremely. Excuse me. So, all right, though the story is deeper than what we could see, but it could be summarized that Tony is indeed a man with vision and clarity. Yep, that's true. Tony Elumelu has done well for himself and Africa. Nigeria's current Minister of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, is one of the beneficiaries of the Tony Elumelu Foundation 5K business grant, $5,000 business grant. Might have to learn more about that guy as well. In fact, let me see if I can put that there in my notes as well. What's his name? That's in my notes. My mentor, this man saved me. One day I can tell you the story. I look forward to that story. All right, someone commented a good question, which was, what we want to know is, how does a branch manager buy a bank? How much did it cost? How did he raise the money? Without this information, you have not told us how he got rich. I mean, they have told us how he got rich. They never went into details of, like, the conversation that was had and the details of, you know, how much he brought the bank for. Like, because one thing you gotta understand about these type of documentaries is, you know, when they talk about certain things, they talk about how someone got rich. They not generalize, but yeah, they do generalize. They give you a timeline of the things that they done, but they don't. In some cases, they don't go into thorough detail unless there's an actual conversation with the person themselves, and that's completely different. But this is just like a snapshot of the things that he has done and is doing. Do you understand? Like, it's now up to you as an individual to be like, okay, yes, you're asking the right questions. So are you saying you want to buy a bank? Are you saying you're a branch manager that wants to buy a bank? If that's the case, then the best thing I would recommend you do is find a way to contact him and then ask him. Do you understand? Like, it might sound like far-fetched or something major, but it is what it is, man. Like, if you, again, like I said, it's luck in it. Maybe luck will work in your favor where you will be able to have contact with him. I don't know. However, what I will say is this. I'm going to leave my comment and I'm going to say this. I find it hard to believe it was luck, because all luck is when preparation meets opportunity. You know what I mean? If it would. Come on. Do you know what? Doesn't matter if I misspelled that. It doesn't matter. Oh, that's why. All right, so I find it hard to believe it was luck, because luck. There you go. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So it is clear he was very prepared despite not having the credentials for his job, but they gave him the opportunity that he worked hard and clearly smart which gave him credentials. Gave him what was needed in order for luck to work in his favor continuously. Okay, that's probably wrong. But yeah, man, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts are. I want to shout out. Now is the perfect time. Get me? But yeah, man, that's it for today. Get me? I shall be live again another day this week. Who knows? But yeah, man, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And look, see, this was just a prime example of like there has been infrastructure. Do you know what I mean? There has been business. Okay, yeah, it may be like within the banking sector or the finance sector, or do you know what I mean, or financial sector, should I say? But that's still, do you know what I mean? You still need money to be able to invest into music in the first place. So what we talking about? So that whole Akon situation. Listen, we're gonna continue on the Akon path, another stream in it, like another day. But anyway, other than that, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you share. But yeah.